World-renowned chef, best-selling author, award-winning host of Parts Unknown, and our friend, Anthony Bourdain, has died.
That the world needs to find a reason. I would like to find that reason too. People need to think that he killed himself for something like this. He had cheated on me too.
Anthony Bourdain was known for his bold personality and love for exploring the world. But behind the cameras and fame, his personal life was full of ups and downs. Now, his ex-wife has opened up, confirming what many had guessed about the struggles he faced. Her story gives a deeper look into how Bourdain tried to balance his passion for food and travel with the challenges of his relationships and the pressures of his busy life. Who exactly was the man behind the glitz and glamour? Join us as we unravel what Bourdain's ex-wife revealed that we all suspected. Early life and career. Anthony Bourdain's life began on June 25, 1956, in New York City, where he grew up in the suburban town of Leonia, New Jersey. His father, Pierre Bourdain, was a music executive at Columbia Records, and his mother, Gladys Bourdain, was a staff editor at the New York Times. Growing up in a middle-class family with creative and cultured parents, Anthony was exposed to music, literature, and art at an early age, which would later influence his storytelling abilities. However, his early life was far from predictable or smooth. What you won't expect is how he described himself. The celebrity chef often described himself as a rebellious and restless child. While his parents encouraged intellectual pursuits, Anthony gravitated toward exploring the world on his own terms. One of his formative experiences came during a family trip to France, where he tasted his first oyster on a fisherman's boat. This singular moment ignited his fascination with food and the stories it could tell, though he didn't realize it fully at the time. Anthony attended Dwight Englewood School in New Jersey, where he was a bright but indifferent student. He was more interested in pushing boundaries than excelling academically. After high school, he enrolled at Vassar College, but dropped out after 2 years. During this period, he worked various odd jobs and began experimenting with drugs, an issue that would plague him for many years. Though his time at Vassar was brief, it solidified his disdain for conventional expectations and set him on a path of self-discovery. While Bourdain's initial years seemed aimless, one thing was constant: his love for food. He worked in seafood restaurants during summer breaks and discovered a deep appreciation for the energy and camaraderie of kitchen life. Inspired by this passion, he decided to attend the Culinary Institute of America, CIA, in Hyde Park, New York, one of the nation's most prestigious culinary schools. This decision marked a turning point in his life, as it gave him a sense of purpose and direction. After graduating from the CIA in 1978, Bourdain immersed himself in the chaotic world of New York City's restaurant scene. For the next 2 decades, he worked as a chef in various kitchens, honing his skills and gaining first-hand knowledge of the industry's gritty realities. His early career was marked by long hours, low pay, and constant pressure. But Bourdain thrived in the fast-paced and competitive environment. He eventually became the executive chef at Brasserie Les Halles, a French bistro in Manhattan that earned a reputation as a culinary landmark under his leadership. Despite his growing success in the kitchen, Bourdain struggled with substance abuse throughout his early career. By his own admission, he was a heavy user of cocaine, heroin, and other drugs during his 20s and early 30s. These experiences, while harrowing, gave him a raw and unfiltered perspective on life, which would later become a defining feature of his storytelling. Eventually, Bourdain overcame his addiction, crediting his passion for food and the discipline of the culinary world for helping him find stability. While working as a chef, Bourdain also pursued his love for writing. He had always been an avid reader, drawn to the works of writers like George Orwell, Hunter S. Thompson, and Joseph Heller. Their influences inspired him to write about the behind-the-scenes realities of restaurant life. In 1999, Bourdain's essay, "Don't Eat Before Reading This," was published in The New Yorker. The piece was a sharp, witty exposé of the restaurant industry, revealing the secrets, struggles, and dark humor of professional kitchens. The essay's success led to the publication of Bourdain's first book, Kitchen Confidential: Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly, in 2000. The book was an instant hit, catapulting him to fame almost overnight. Written with brutal honesty and a distinctive voice, Kitchen Confidential resonated with readers who appreciated its blend of humor, grit, and culinary insight. It provided a glimpse into the underbelly of the restaurant world, capturing the chaos, camaraderie, and passion that defined it. The success of Kitchen Confidential transformed Bourdain's life. He went from being a relatively unknown chef to a celebrated author and media personality. Offers began pouring in for television projects, allowing Bourdain to take his love for food and storytelling to a broader audience. In 2002, he hosted his first television series, A Cook's Tour, on the Food Network. The show followed Bourdain as he traveled the globe, exploring diverse cuisines and cultures. While it was well received, it was only a glimpse of what was to come. In 2005, Bourdain launched Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations on the Travel Channel, a series that would cement his status as a cultural icon. The show was a unique blend of culinary exploration, travel documentary, and social commentary. Unlike traditional cooking shows, No Reservations delved into the lives of the people behind the food, highlighting their stories, struggles, and triumphs. Bourdain's authenticity and curiosity set the show apart, earning it critical acclaim and a loyal following. During this time, Bourdain also published several more books, including The Nasty Bits, 2006, and Medium Raw, 2010, which continued his tradition of combining sharp humor with thoughtful insights into the culinary world. He also ventured into fiction, writing novels like Bone in the Throat and Gone Bamboo. By the time Bourdain launched Parts Unknown on CNN in 2013, he had become much more than a chef or TV host. He was a storyteller and cultural ambassador, using food as a lens to explore deeper social, political, and historical issues. Parts Unknown took viewers to lesser-known destinations, showcasing the beauty and complexity of places often overlooked by mainstream media. The show won multiple awards, including several Emmys, and further solidified Bourdain's legacy as a groundbreaking figure in food and travel media. Bourdain's approach to storytelling was deeply personal and reflective. He often drew on his own experiences of struggle and redemption, connecting with audiences on a human level. He wasn't afraid to tackle difficult topics, whether it was political unrest in the Middle East or the impact of colonialism on indigenous cuisines. Through his work, he encouraged viewers to embrace curiosity, empathy, and a willingness to learn from others. While his career flourished, Bourdain remained candid about his personal struggles. He often spoke about his battles with addiction, depression, and the pressures of fame. Despite his larger-than-life persona, he was deeply introspective and self-aware, qualities that endeared him to fans around the world. Despite his achievements as a celebrated chef, author, and television personality, his private life was often tumultuous, marked by relationships that reflected the challenges of his fast-paced world. All about his relationships. Anthony Bourdain's first marriage to Nancy Podkowski was like a storybook romance. They met in high school at Dwight Englewood School in New Jersey, where Nancy's rebellious nature caught Bourdain's eye. Their love grew stronger in college, and they got married in 1985. Nancy supported Bourdain through the tough early years of his career as he worked hard to make a name for himself in the culinary world. But as Bourdain became famous after his book Kitchen Confidential took off, things changed. Nancy preferred a private life and found it hard to deal with the public attention. The demands of Bourdain's career put a strain on their relationship, and they drifted apart, eventually divorcing in 2005. Despite the breakup, Bourdain always spoke kindly about Nancy and the role she played in his life. Bourdain later found love with Ottavia Bussia, an Italian businesswoman and mixed martial artist. They met through a mutual friend, chef Eric Rippert, and quickly hit it off. Ottavia's journey to New York from a small Italian town was remarkable. She arrived with just $300 and built a career in the restaurant business. Their connection grew fast, and by 2007, they were married, and Bourdain became a father. He loved being a dad, but his busy travel schedule for his show Parts Unknown made it hard to balance work and family. The couple separated in 2016, with their demanding lives being a big reason for the split. Not long after, Bourdain began a relationship with Asia Argento, an Italian actress and director. Their bond was immediate and passionate. Bourdain admired Asia for her courage, especially in speaking out during the #MeToo movement, and he openly supported her. Their relationship was unconventional. They gave each other space to follow their individual passions while staying connected emotionally. However, their careers often kept them apart, and the distance began to take a toll. Even though Bourdain seemed happy with Asia, the struggles in his personal life ran deep. The pressure of his career and the emotional weight of his relationships became difficult to manage. What no one expected was that it would eventually lead to his death. The tragic death of Anthony Bourdain. In the days leading up to his death, Anthony Bourdain seemed overwhelmed by a mix of exhaustion, loneliness, and a deep dissatisfaction with life. Fame, which had once excited him, started to feel like a prison. He grew to despise the constant attention, expectations, and how it distanced him from the things that once mattered. The more successful he became, the more disconnected he felt from the real world, and that distance seemed to grow. Bourdain's relationship with Asia Argento was also strained. The intensity they once shared had turned into tension. Reports of her affair deeply hurt him, especially when he learned it took place in a hotel that had held special meaning for them. This betrayal weighed heavily on him. Despite his attempts to mend their relationship, reaching out to ask if he could fix things, her response was reportedly cold and dismissive. Their connection, once full of promise, had become exhausting and added to his isolation. As his personal struggles grew, so did the pressure from his demanding career. His work required constant travel, often immersing him in emotionally heavy stories. While Bourdain thrived on connecting with people and telling their stories, the toll of these experiences became too much. He began to retreat further into himself, overwhelmed by feelings of emptiness and abandonment. Anthony Bourdain's death on June 8, 2018, shocked people all over the world. At 61 years old, he was found in his hotel room in Kaisersberg, France, where he had been working on an episode of his show, Parts Unknown. The news that he had taken his own life left fans, friends, and family heartbroken. For someone who seemed so full of life and curiosity, it was hard to believe he was battling such deep pain. Bourdain was staying at Le Chambard Hotel in France with his close friend, chef Eric Rippert. They were filming a new episode of his show, exploring the food and culture of the area. When Bourdain didn't show up for breakfast one morning, Rippert went to check on him and found him unresponsive. His death was ruled a suicide, and the loss left Rippert and many others deeply saddened. In the days that followed, people all over the world mourned him. Fans remembered how he inspired them to try new foods, visit new places, and see the world in a different way. Friends and co-workers spoke about his kindness, humor, and honesty. But there were also many questions about what had led to this tragedy. Bourdain had spoken openly about his struggles with depression and addiction in the past. He often shared that he had dealt with dark times in his life, even when his career was thriving. He admitted that fame and success didn't always make him happy, and that he sometimes felt lonely despite being surrounded by people. At the time of his death, Bourdain was reportedly facing personal challenges. He had been in a relationship with Italian actress Asia Argento, and their relationship had come under a lot of public scrutiny. While some speculated that these challenges contributed to his death, those close to him emphasized that mental health struggles are complex and can't be tied to one single issue. Friends like Eric Rippert described the immense pressure Bourdain faced as a public figure. He spent much of his time traveling for work, often in stressful or emotionally heavy situations. He wasn't just filming food and travel, he was diving into deep cultural and political stories that could weigh heavily on anyone. While Bourdain was known for his empathy and curiosity, it's possible that these same qualities made him more vulnerable to the pain he encountered in the world. Bourdain's family, especially his ex-wife Ottavia Busia Bourdain, focused on supporting their daughter, Ariane, who was 11 years old at the time. Ottavia described Ariane as brave and strong, even in the face of such a difficult loss. Many fans also expressed their support for Ariane, hoping she would carry forward her father's legacy of curiosity and kindness. After his death, there was an outpouring of love and respect for Bourdain. Fans left flowers, notes, and other tributes at places he had visited or talked about. Chefs, writers, and people in the food and travel industries shared stories of how he had touched their lives. His shows had inspired millions of people to see food and travel as ways to connect with others and understand different cultures. CNN, which aired Parts Unknown, honored Bourdain's memory with a heartfelt tribute. They praised his unique way of telling stories and how he used food to bring people together. They also reminded viewers of his deep curiosity about the world and his respect for the people he met along the way. Bourdain's death also started a larger conversation about mental health, especially in high-stress industries like the culinary and entertainment worlds. People began talking more openly about the challenges of dealing with depression and how important it is to seek help. His passing became a reminder that even those who seem strong or successful on the outside can be struggling on the inside. Since his death, efforts have been made to address mental health in the restaurant and creative industries. Programs have been launched to provide support to chefs, cooks, and others who face the kinds of pressures Bourdain often talked about. Many see these efforts as a way to honor his legacy and help others who might be going through similar struggles, and his ex-wife has added her own thoughts, confirming what we knew all along. The ex-wife's reflections. Bourdain and Ottavia met at a time when their lives were vastly different. Ottavia was immersed in the world of mixed martial arts, practicing and training with the dedication of a professional athlete. Bourdain, on the other hand, was already a celebrity chef and adventurer, constantly traveling for his shows and writing. Despite their differences, they connected on a deep level and got married in 2007. That same year, they welcomed their daughter, Ariane, into the world. Their marriage appeared to be a happy one initially. Bourdain often spoke about how becoming a father gave him a renewed sense of purpose. He adored Ariane and found joy in spending time with her. Ottavia, who had a strong and independent personality, seemed to balance Bourdain's restless nature. However, the demands of Bourdain's career soon began to strain their relationship. His job required him to travel constantly, sometimes spending weeks or months away from home. The long absences took a toll on their marriage and family life. Ottavia later reflected on how Bourdain struggled with balancing his personal and professional lives. While he yearned for the peace and stability of family life, his restless spirit made it difficult for him to fully embrace it. She described him as someone who wanted to be present but couldn't always reconcile that desire with his love for adventure and storytelling. Over time, their differing lifestyles created a gap that was hard to bridge. By 2016, the couple decided to separate. It was a mutual decision, and there was no animosity between them. They continued to co-parent Ariane and remained on good terms. Even after their separation, Ottavia spoke highly of Bourdain, emphasizing his love for their daughter and his dedication as a father. She remained supportive of his career and proud of the impact he had on the world. When Bourdain died in 2018, Ottavia was devastated. The news of his death shocked the world, but for Ottavia, it was a deeply personal loss. She publicly shared her grief, focusing on their daughter's strength during such a heartbreaking time. Ariane, who was only 11 years old, became Ottavia's main focus. She described her daughter as strong and brave, highlighting the resilience she showed in the face of such a tragedy. As more details emerged about Bourdain's struggles, Ottavia opened up about the challenges he faced. She revealed that Bourdain had been seeing a therapist in the months leading up to his death. Like many who lose a loved one to suicide, Ottavia expressed regret for not being more involved in monitoring his mental health. She admitted that while she knew he was struggling, she hadn't fully understood the depth of his pain. These reflections painted a picture of a man who, despite his outward success and charm, carried a heavy burden. Some of Bourdain's text messages to Ottavia, revealed after his death, offered further insight into his state of mind. In these messages, he spoke about feeling disconnected and overwhelmed by the demands of his career. He expressed frustration with the pressures of fame and the toll it took on his personal life. Ottavia was one of the few people he could confide in, but even she couldn't always reach him. In 2021, Ottavia participated in the documentary Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain, which explored Bourdain's life, career, and untimely death. In the film, she shared personal stories and insights, shedding light on the man behind the public image. She spoke about his passions, his struggles, and the complexities of their relationship. However, she also made it clear that this would likely be the last time she publicly discussed Bourdain. It seemed she wanted to move forward while still honoring his memory. Since Bourdain's death, Ottavia has focused on raising Ariane and ensuring she has a stable and happy life. Ariane, now a teenager, carries her father's legacy in her own way. Ottavia has worked hard to protect her from the public eye, giving her the space to grow up without the added pressure of being in the spotlight. As a mother, Ottavia has shown incredible strength and resilience, qualities that Bourdain deeply admired. Their story also highlights the challenges of balancing personal dreams with professional obligations. Bourdain's career brought him immense success and the opportunity to make a difference in the world. But it often came at a personal cost. Ottavia's reflections reveal the toll this took on him and their family. She has been candid about his struggles, acknowledging his flaws while celebrating his talents and the love he gave to those closest to him. Despite the pain and loss, Ottavia has continued to live her life with grace and determination. Her love for Bourdain and their daughter has guided her through the most difficult moments. By sharing her story, she has provided comfort to others who have faced similar struggles, showing that it's possible to find strength even in the face of heartbreak. The story of Anthony and Ottavia is a reminder that life is complex and messy, Even those who seem to have it all can face deep struggles. Their relationship was full of love, challenges, and lessons about what it means to connect with another person. For Ottavia, moving forward means carrying those lessons with her while building a life full of hope and resilience for herself and Ariane. In the end, Anthony Bourdain's legacy is not just about his achievements, but also about the people he loved and the lives he touched. Through Ottavia's reflections, we see a man who was deeply human, with all the beauty and pain that comes with it. Her strength and dedication to their daughter ensure that his memory lives on in a way that is meaningful and true. Their story is a testament to the power of love, the challenges of life, and the importance of finding hope, even in the darkest moments. Anthony Bourdain's death was a heartbreaking loss, but his life left a lasting impact. He inspired people to be more curious, to embrace different cultures, and to find joy in food and travel. Through his work, he encouraged us to connect with each other and to understand the world in a deeper way. Though he left too soon, his influence will continue to be felt for generations, reminding us to live with curiosity and compassion. Do you think Bourdain had any alternative to ending his life? We would love to hear your opinions. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.